All right, welcome to the Frog News Network. I'm Doug, and that's ML Bonafide will join us with a guest in just a moment. Where y'all are watching us from tonight, give y'all some call outs before we get started here. I know it takes about 20 seconds for things to get rolling, guys. We got a big show. We're going to talk about the homeless situation. We changed our game up a little bit because Doug got confused, and that's not hard for Doug to do. So I do apologize.
Hey, Cookie, how you doing?
Nevada in the house.
Nevada in the house.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Where you guys watching us from? I wish that guy'd work on the call-in show. I don't know what he's doing all day. Hey guys, Cookie says Nevada.
Hey,
Hi ML.
Chicago, Windy City in the house. How you
Hey,
doing,
look,
Wayne?
guys, Saturday night we're gonna do probably a call with a guy, and he's gonna tell us why the Earth's flat. But that's gonna be on a Zoom call, so it might be delayed before it's uploaded to the website. I don't know how many people are allowed.
Melbourne,
I'm not sure about
Australia in the house.
Tennessee in the house. Melbourne, Australia, like you said. Long Island, welcome to the show, Long Island.
South Carolina, welcome to the show.
California, welcome to the show. Jacksonville, Florida, welcome to the show. California, Kentucky in the house. West Virginia, Michigan in the house. How's it going up there in Michigan?
Ohio in the house.
Upstate New York. I know a guy named Upstate Al. Tyler, Texas in the house. I've been there before. Warwick, Rhode Island. Alabama. Welcome to the show.
Ohio in the house. Welcome to the show.
Australia again.
Woo!
Somebody spelled Texas like I spell Texas. That's exactly how I spell Texas. Bonafide taught me how to spell that.
Michigan in the house.
New York, welcome
Alabama
to the show.
In the house. Welcome.
When does Miss ML launch his live show? It's launched. You're watching it right now because he'll be on with Doug till he builds some content up. But we got it. He got 1,000 subscribers, and then what we'll do is we'll do a night show, and then maybe during the day we'll do a day show on his channel.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
At San Antonio, Texas, welcome to the show. Indiana. All right, guys, let's bring Bonafide in here.
Oh no! Oh no!
There he is.
Intel.
Oh.
You got Intel?
Yeah.
We got
Intel.
Ladies and gentlemen, breaking intel from the Bonafide himself. Today is his birthday. That's the intel. Do y'all want to say happy birthday? I did to him this morning.
29.
29 and 29.
Times 5. Times 5.
Divided by 3.
How y'all doing?
Where's Virginia?
It's my birthday.
What do y'all got going on?
No, Shorty. It's my birthday.
It is his birthday. He got cupcakes. His wife showed it, the cupcakes he got. They were nice.
That's right.
And he said he was at the Chinese place, and his wife said it wasn't Chinese. He said he couldn't tell the difference. He didn't know what he was eating, but it was Oriental.
Hey, can you tell the truth now?
If you line them all up, I don't know who they are. If one of them's from Taiwan, one of them's from China, one of them's from Vietnam, I don't know if they talk, if it's the same language or a different language. Because I don't speak that language.
That's right.
I believe I'm ordering the same thing if I go to all 3 restaurants.
I can't even tell if I got an accent or not.
Well, no. I don't.
You got an accident, brother. You got an accident. I mean, not an accident. You had an accident, too.
Hey, I'm going to ask you a question. Before we get started, I'm going to ask everybody a question.
What's that question?
As you know, the governors of Kentucky, North Carolina, and California, they probably other ones now, that they're going to push the mask mandate again.
What the hell?
How many people are going to participate?
Or
how many people are going to just say, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Yeah.
I ain't going to put up with it.
I never paid attention to the first
Stand
one.
up. Stand up for your sovereignty.
Here's the thing about it is, we all know it is fake. Well, I ain't going to say it's fake. I'm going to say we all know we can live through it. Let's just call it that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's more people dying. There's more people dying from the Vaseline than they are the 19.
Then so-called phenomenon anyway. and they're covering
A
it all up.
phenomenon. It's a phenomenon.
The phenomenon.
So my question is, let's just take California, because I've had a lot of people call and tell me that California is really red, and I have met, since I've been doing this, I've met a good bit of people from California, and they all
Caleb,
say they're red. Huh?
Oh, that's not
keep going.
Hey,
California, they're red. They all got red.
Okay.
Case
So
of the red book.
So is California going to put up with another mask mandate?
If they try to start this, looking at Civil War, bro.
Yep. I believe that's what it is. I believe what you're doing is they're putting it back in your face again and basically saying, y'all are going to do this again, and just to see how many people will do it.
Well, this one.
Now, there was a lot of people fooled the first time, but you can't fool them twice. So we're going to find out.
There's a lot of stupid.
I see people at the store today with masks on.
Yep.
I mean,
you see people in their car with their masks on. Nobody in the car but them.
Yeah. Well, right. I was just wondering. You know, it's just to the point to where, you know, there's a bunch of hillbillies up in North Carolina and Kentucky. Them are the two that I heard that was close by, and I just don't think these guys are going to put up with it. Me personally. No. But anyway, let me introduce our guest tonight. His name is John Dice. He was with me in Texas. He lives in right outside of Portland, Oregon. He's going to show us some video and some pictures of what's going on in Portland. And I want to remind you of something, that we do not have a homeless problem in America. We do not have a homeless problem. We have a drug problem in America. And he's going to tell you about how all these drugs now are legal there. And then he's going to show you the streets and the people living on the streets. And basically, they give you your syringes. You can do, and it's a minor fine to get caught with drugs. So if there's an exception, let's just say with a lot of veterans, because they're traumatized, and I've seen a good bit of veterans that are homeless, but most of them have alcohol and drug problems also. But we do not have a homeless problem in America. We have a drug problem, and I think everybody here on the screen would agree to that.
Yep.
But I'm gonna go ahead and let John talk, and then we got some video that Doug's gonna play that John took with his own camera. This is what this show is all about. This is the real stories from real people. And if you want to be a real person and show us a real story, give us an email, because this is what it's all about right here.
TheFrogNewsNetwork@gmail.com.
I promise you, if things don't change very quickly, and I don't think they are, this right here, what you're about to see, is coming to a city near you.
Yep.
Go ahead, John.
Well, first off, Bonafide, happy birthday, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was good spending time down there in Texas with you.
Yeah, me too. I learned a lot.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
This is one of the guys that protected me, so I could smart off at somebody and he'd slap them.
Well, I wouldn't let nothing happen to you, that's for sure.
That's right. They got big old guns, big ones, great old big ones.
Got one or two.
So tell us about what you've seen change where you live, and how long has it been since you've noticed the change in Portland?
So I've been here about 5 years, a little over 5 years. And the last 2 years, ever since they pushed this new drug laws and stuff where it is a basic misdemeanor for a certain amount of fentanyl, heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine. Basically, you kind of get a ticket, and then they send you over to a kind of a drug court therapy thing if you volunteer for it. But if you don't show up, okay, it's no big deal. They'll just, they'll just play it along. It's not a huge thing. It's not solving anything. It's adding to the problem that we have here. Like Bonafide said, that we have a drug problem. 100% there's a drug problem here, because when you go downtown Portland, you will see people wiped out. You'll see one person that I just got yesterday on video who was just out of it, sitting next to a business on the sidewalk in Portland downtown. So it's been a bad problem for a couple of years, and it's been getting worse over the last probably year and a half with all the homeless and all the graffiti and camps along the freeway on 205, even on some of 84. 84 is pretty bad, which goes right into Portland, downtown Portland. So it's gotten bad. Lot of crime. You'll see a place called the Lloyd Center, which is almost vacant because the crime down there was so bad, and is so bad down there at night. Just don't go down there no more.
Wow. So like these encampments and places you see on the side of the road, they're not set up for a campground, right? So
no.
Human waste and trash is just everywhere, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they actually have to hire people that do hazmat removal and to come in to clean up those camps when they do a sweep, what they call their camp sweeps, and they go through and it's needles and you name it, just all kinds of paraphernalia, human waste, basic garbage, stolen property, lots of shopping carts, things that you would look at and you're like, why would anybody want to take that? Right. It's just discarded right there on the sidewalks and stuff. Vacuum cleaners, who knows why they're picking a vacuum, but yeah, it just trash. And the video you're going to be seeing now, it was what I took over the last couple of days. This is after a cleanup over the last 2 weeks. So they do a sweep about every, twice a year, and they kind of go through and kind of clean stuff up. So everything you see here is actually pretty clean from what it normally is.
So what I'm going to do, John, is I'm going to share my screen, and then I'll let you narrate the video. Let me make sure I got something correct. Here we go. Yeah. And hold on a second. I'm going to make this bigger. Is that better? Can y'all see that better now?
Yeah.
I know it's a little tough to kind of see because it's kind of far off.
Okay, so I'm going to get ready to start it, and you just tell us in your words what's going on and where you live.
Okay. So this is on 205 going northbound towards Seattle. You'll see all the gray that's painted on there. You'll see some graffiti. So all of that gray is gray paint over the last couple of weeks that they've gone down and painted over all of the graffiti that was on those walls. And you can see the majority of the wall is painted gray. So those walls were completely covered. Now going down this off ramp right here, that sign right there usually says, "Beware of pedestrians." And this is clean. They just went through and did a sweep. But you'll see that whole side is usually full of tents, encampments, all the way to the very bottom on both sides.
Holy cow.
And again, that's clean. They just cleaned all that stuff up. So that side, all under those trees, that's right next to the freeway on the on 205 going northbound. And yeah, obviously you got people down there panhandling.
So how bad is it before they clean it up, John?
That every square inch of that grass, all the way down it, had a body on it, had a tent on it, had trash on it. None of that was clean.
All right.
And that's on both sides. I mean, it was, so again, you could see the gray paint on how bad the graffiti is, and then graffiti starting to come back onto it. They basically painted those whole walls. Same thing underneath the underpasses and stuff. This
how
is
far is that from town?
This right here is in the metro area. So we're probably about 4 or 5 miles from Portland.
Wow.
Is that going towards Vancouver, right?
Correct.
How far does that extend all the way up past it? I mean, how far were you seeing all of this?
Yeah, that'll go just about to where you turn off to 84, where it goes eastbound and westbound. And then before the airport, you'll see kind of sputters of it here and there. And then just before you get to the bridge, go over the bridge towards into Washington.
Wow.
So again, under all these overpasses, you'll see the gray along all that. There was graffiti along all those. Usually up in the corners of the overpasses was encampments, tents, people living up there. So they went through and cleaned them out for now, but and I'll keep watching it. They'll get packed back up again. So this exit right here, we're going off of. This is going off of 205. I'm getting ready to come on to I-84 eastbound, and you could see graffiti again underneath the overpasses, pretty thick. And then all along those trees up there, there's tents inside those trees along that side of the freeway right there.
Wow.
John, where do these people go when they clean this out? Like, they just come back later on, or how does that work?
It depends. It depends on where the services are being offered at. So they'll move them around. They could go closer into Portland for a little while until they get pushed out, and then they'll come back out into those areas once they've kind of I guess the heat has come down on them.
Yep.
So
this
they're
is the
really
suburbs.
not, John. They're really not helping with the drug problem.
No,
They're enabling the drug problem to get worse.
100% correct. There's no program really to get anybody off of the drugs. It's only programs to push people around. That's it.
Yeah, you can see all that trash up there.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's a neighborhood right there behind that wall. It's a nice neighborhood.
It was a nice neighborhood.
This is going downtown into Portland on I-84 westbound. This is where the TriMet station's at. You'll see this is where the majority of the stuff is at, all along both sides of the freeway.
This is a direct result of all the liberal policies allowing this stuff to take place in these inner cities. This is a direct result of all those liberal policies.
Yep.
100%. Like I tell
Absolutely.
people down here all the time when they complain, I say, listen, you can't blame anybody but the leadership that you have had for decades. That's who's been running this city, and that's who's
Crazy.
So how's the local business owners fight this? I mean, do they, or they just move out of town, or what do they do?
A lot of them they're stuck. I mean, some leave. There's a lot of people leaving Oregon because of all the stuff that's going on. All this right here is all down in a business area off of 84 going into Portland. And those are encampments underneath those overpasses and stuff. And I said, this is clean. They did a cleanup.
Yeah.
Usually it is just stacked one end to the other.
It's starting to look just like San Francisco.
And there's your drug problem right there. That's what that normally looks like. And there's an encampment right there. This is right downtown Portland, right across the other side of the bridge.
Crazy.
So is this that area where they were having all the riots at last year that was sectioned and segregated off, basically,
Correct.
where
Yeah, this is about 2 blocks from that park that they had all the stuff at, and then this is about a block and a half from the police stations and the courthouse.
So the police don't care what's going on, and people are passed out and drugged out. It's not any of their concern. And along with this behavior must be come rape, murder, robbery, and all that must come right hand in hand with this. Correct?
Oh, the gun violence they've estimated has risen in the last year over 800%.
Wow!
Because they defunded the police, so they defunded their gun violence unit in Portland, Oregon. That was I believe it was a 30 or 40 man team that was out specifically for that. They defunded their resource officers, and they defunded their TriMet police. So there's no more police on those trains that run around Portland. And even when they were on it, there was drugs, homeless people on there. There was rapes, murders, armed robberies, you name it. So yeah, things are definitely not safe. This is right down by Portland, by one of the schools, nursing schools, about 2 blocks from the nursing school. These are
people just living in their cars.
There's a drug dealer right there writing down his sales for the day. Because I sat there, actually, I came back around the block and I was actually talking to him, and he wanted nothing to do with me, and I should have recorded it. So I sat there, actually, I came back around the block and I was actually talking to him.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and these are in nice, decent neighborhoods.
Sodom and Gomorrah all over again, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this looks like a nice neighborhood, really.
Yeah. This is your typical liberal neighborhood. Now this is the Lloyd Center. Usually this thing is stacked full of people because that's a big shopping mall. And you can see at noon on this day, there's hardly anybody around.
Wow.
It's vacant downtown.
Wow. That's so sad.
I mean, who would want to be down there, really? I mean, what kind of business can you do with all that going on?
Exactly. And, people say,
if I
well,
was a business owner there, I'd be raising immortal hell.
yeah.
You think about if you went down there and invested into a restaurant and you got $500,000 tied up in a pizza joint, and your elected officials does nothing about this. I
Exactly.
would flip out.
They not only they don't do anything about it, Bonafide, they encourage it.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
They're enabling this to go on
This
in
is
their
a-
cities because all the officials have been, funded by George Soros or that party to put the right people in as the city attorneys, as the district attorneys, the prosecuting
Yep.
attorneys,
Yep.
the police commissioners, the mayors of the cities. They're all in on it, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you have a district attorney in Multnomah County that refuses to charge people for the crimes that they did, and he releases them by the hundreds, and the officers are just like hand tied. The SWAT units that ran the riot control stuff, the 50-person SWAT team that just resigned here about 3 months ago, the whole team walked off. So we're not doing it anymore because they had no backing. They were getting charged for pushing people off to the side, and if they hit them or whatever, grabbed a hold of them, they got one guy convicted, or not convicted, but indicted for a basic misdemeanor assault because a gal that he was pushing, which there's video of it, was pushing her out of the middle of them, and he happened to hit her in the face with his riot stick, just pushing her back, and they called that an assault. It was unnecessary. That's what these guys are like. Man, you guys are just throwing us to the wolves. We're just done, and they walked off.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty sad when you're going against Antifa and Black Lives Matter, and they're better armed than even your police force is. They're armed and they're being trained to utilize these automatic weapons and whatnot, because this arms and these ammunitions are coming from the CCP. It's well known and established that a lot of the stuff has been sent over to the United States and it's been sent out to these sleeper cells through Black Lives Matters and Antifa in these major metropolitan areas.
Yeah. It is what I also tell people with this whole thing, that, and you talk about them being armed or outgunning basically the law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest weapon that they have that is outgun law enforcement is politicians.
That's right.
That's
their
true.
biggest weapon. And they use it well.
Oh yeah.
Well, look at all the people that rioted up that way and destroyed the cities, and none of them were prosecuted.
They're still rioting.
Yeah.
It hasn't slowed down. They still do it. It's
They
down
just
to
put reporting on it.
at least once a week that they're riding up. They don't even cover it here anymore, but there's still almost every day something going on down at the courthouse or the law enforcement. It has never really slowed down.
And here we have, nobody's being prosecuted there, but we've got 500 to 600 people that's being kept imprisoned in Washington, D.C. that just happened to be in the Capitol building, that were truly patriots trying to stop and prevent all of these sleeper cells that were doing activities in there. And these people are being held with no definitive time, sentencing, or anything else like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, you know what we call those? We call those political prisoners.
That's right.
It's exactly what they are.
Yes, sir.
It's a horrible situation in our country. And,
it is.
Man.
What's going on and how they're just, these democratic cities are just overrun with this, and there's no end in sight. I mean, who's going to stop this?
Yeah.
We, the people, have to stop it.
Well,
one person at a time. People need to stand up.
Here's the one thing you got to remember. Trump tried his best to go in there and stop this, and they wouldn't let him. And them being a state, they can stop him. Basically, what they was doing is they was wanting Trump they was tempting Trump to go in there and stop this, and him basically draw weapons on American citizens.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why he had to have permission to do it. And he said, well, I can fix it in 30 minutes if you'll let me.
Yep.
But he has to have permission to go in. So we are sovereign states. So it's their fault, and they have control of that part of the country. And there's nothing really we can do about it.
And that's why I tell the people that are up here that are bitching and complaining and saying how this is so horrible and stuff and all that. If they blame anybody else but who's liable for it, which is the leadership that's been in place for decades, that's who's running this program. That's who's running the state, their cities. As soon as they try to blame and I've heard it too. It's all Trump's fault. It's his fault this is going on. And I'm like, time out. No, it's not. No, you guys have people that have been in here in this office for 20, 30 years running your guys' state. That's who you blame. These are all the policies of them. So it's their fault. So if you don't like them, you need to change them.
Well, what we'd all love to if we could have fair elections.
Yeah,
Exactly. 100%.
When you don't have fair elections, you have rhinos in there for the Republicans, and then you got the Democrats that sit in office for years and control cities like Portland, like Seattle, like New York, the governor, the New York City governor. These people are not, they're just as corrupt and don't care about none of their citizens. They could care less. It's all about the political party. They vote down party lines. They don't care as long as they get their money every month or how they get paid off. That's exactly what goes on. You can basically, I bet if you went to city council meeting up there and you said something wrong, you'd be jerked out of there in about 2 seconds.
yep,
Yeah. They wouldn't want to put their hands on me though.
yeah,
but part of that is when a state can call an election on election night within 30 minutes of the polls opening, and they call a state for a president, for a candidate within 30 minutes, that's voter fraud. There is no way they can do that in 30 minutes.
yep.
And Oregon does it all the time. They do it all the time. And everyone here just eats it up.
Yeah, it's crazy. So let me ask you this. You were down at the border, and our feelings are like you seen what's happening down there. And we know they show in the daytime the women and the children coming across. But at night, it's a different story about the quality of the people crossing the border. Wouldn't you believe that a lot of these so-called children and adults are terrorists from other countries or trained assassins? They train assassin children now too. Our country is guilty of it as well. Now they're just sitting in cities ready to be activated as soon as they try to change the, if not the government, change the way things are. They're going to be the ones to do the mass murders, start the fires. They owe the people that got them in the country, and they owe them their vote too. So they're here and they're coming in. If y'all seen 60 or 70 on the cameras, there's got to be 20, 30,000 a day crossing that border that are not good for this country, that are just going to be hidden cells in this country to destroy this country. What is your thoughts on that?
I completely agree. There is thousands of them that have been swarmed into this country. They're not coming through the places that we're seeing them. They're coming through other areas, and the places that Tim and I went to, those are just ports. I firmly believe for the show, for the distraction. That keeps the distraction, because all the people that I saw come through those areas were very clean, very well fed. They had clean haircuts, new luggage, new shoes. They seemed happy to come across. They had new iPhones, and they weren't just like people that someone said, hey, they just came 1,500 miles.
No, they didn't come 15 miles.
No.
They didn't come 50 yards.
No, exactly. I mean, they came from a hotel, drove over to the river, and they said, march along. It just, to me, that it's sad that many people are just flooding across the river. And when we talked to a couple of the border guys down there, they were telling us that a lot of these people are PhDs, engineers. They're very well-educated people. And those are the ones that are coming through these areas. And so my question to them was, and literally stumped them, so if these people are so good for our country, they're very educated, the people we want in our country, right, why are they coming across this here and tying you guys up here? Why aren't they going to the embassy and saying, we need asylum? Because they would probably get looked at pretty quick. And all of them were like, I don't know. I don't know why they're coming.
And like Tim said, that there's no Mexicans coming through. That's not the problem.
No.
Haitians,
they're from everywhere else.
El Salvadorans. Yeah, I mean,
Africans.
We've seen Africa,
Middle Eastern. When Trump was in office, he told us at best estimate there was at least 24 to 70 24 to 27 million undocumented illegal aliens in this country that's came through, especially during Barry's term. It was bad.
Yeah.
John, did you ever find out anything about the ankle bracelets? John's the one who took the pictures of the ankle bracelets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those are from ICE, and those are tracking devices. So they give them their court date, and then they send them to wherever their so-called family is, so that they can go be with them and wait for their hearing date.
When they never show up.
And they don't care to show up. So what's the latest? Because Bonafide was going to go back to the border, and he got a message, don't go back because there's something going on now, that they're actually putting up a fence. If you come in now, you'll be arrested and sent back. Is that a smoke screen, you feel, or is that a Band-Aid on an artery?
Yeah, a lot of it is. So the fencing that we saw down at the property we were at, and I sent that picture in of all the rolls laid out there. And then I sent a picture to you, Bonafide, the other day, showing the fence put up down that road.
Yep.
That's a different road. That fencing is still laying there next to that property with weeds growing through it.
Yep.
That fencing was just a photo op for Abbott, in my opinion. Just today, Alan West was down there at that same property with doing video, and they had a small family, husband, wife, who was 9 months pregnant, a little boy, and I think they had one other with them, just sitting there. And the only people that were there was DPS. No border patrols around. I don't know who they were waiting for, but obviously she looked like she was about ready to give birth. She was in obviously pain, in some kind of an emergency. And that's every day down there. But that fencing, they only did like 1.5 miles of fencing somewhere along that area down there, but it wasn't where we were standing at. That's still wide open.
Yeah. And basically they know that we sat there, me and John sat there and watched them. They'll come up in an SUV and they'll unload it behind a bush. So these people are seriously walking less than a football field across a river. Mm-hmm. They're walking down a hill. We sat there and watched them. Mm-hmm. I had the drone in Mexico looking at them, and they would just walk down there and just walk. Basically, it was, I guess, waist high most of the way across, maybe. And they just walked straight up on the bank, and basically the highway patrol there just helps them on the bank. They put them in a van, and we don't really know where they go from there. That one guy, when we was there, the only thing he could say was, I need to go to Dallas. So
asking for
it's only English. And he was from El Salvador, wasn't he?
Yes, he was from El Salvador. Yep.
And that was a whole group of people. And these people was not harmed, I don't think, in any way. Mm-hmm. And then when we was down there, there was a lady that was showing me pictures. She sent me pictures of Facebook in Mexico, and they've got buses that goes down to South America and brings the people to the cartel up at the border, and they pay the cartel. And I'm talking about from $6,000 or $7,000 to $11,000 a person.
Yep.
Every day. It's a $22 million a day business. $22 million a day. So it's, and somebody's getting paid, I promise you.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell y'all this story about this little girl. If y'all see my other videos, you've seen the little girls sitting in front of that black Dodge truck, that black Toyota truck. Have you seen that, John?
I have not.
Well, the city attorney's the one who gave it to me, but anyway.
I know what you're talking about. Yes, the truck on the farm, on the ranch. Yep.
Well, this Brett, the guy we had on here before, Brent, he told me that there was a little girl that asked to go to the bathroom, and it was like it was down the woods, down across the building somewhere, and the little girl knew exactly how to get there. And the officer asked her when she got back, and she said, well, I've been here 5 times before. Now, this is a little girl about 6 years old. So that means that little girl has went across that border and then was in custody and was let go to go back across the border to act like another fake family, basically to act like a family, come back across, and then go back again. Is the corruption is on both sides of the fence, period.
Right.
Yeah.
And these people are getting paid. Now you think about this. Let's just say that the cartel's making $22 million a day. Who's to say that these border patrols wouldn't? I mean, they ain't making big money. So if you paid a border patrol officer $1,000 a day,
Look the other way.
look the other way. That's all he's
Yes,
got. Who's not going to do it? I mean, really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's ridiculous. But the footage that me and John got that day, me and him both flew our drones and everything. I look at that stuff as decoys. What's going on at night and what's coming up by Mike Miller's ranch, and all the men, only single men caught on, and I'm talking about groups of 60 men that are caught on deer cameras and basically walking into the towns at nighttime. Everybody we seen came across there in the daytime. And they look like families, and they look like refugees, and they look like they wanted a better life, but that's not the problem. The problem is the people come in at nighttime. And also the problem is if these people, if that Title 42 gets passed and all these people come legal and all these people can vote, see, we're not going to fall for the machines and the Vaseline again. We're not going to fall for it. And they know that. So they have got to pack the deck, what I call.
That's right. Yep. They got to stack it.
And if they lose Texas, if Texas ever turns blue, that is the boat. That is the motor that runs the red boat, and we will be absolutely done. Period.
Yeah. I think that would definitely be the flashpoint for sure. It would have to be.
Well, how close do you think we are from where the militia is going to start protecting the border? Are they together down there?
I think
coming together. What's the story?
Very close.
Well, I think they're holding great.
I know
right
Texas
now.
people are pretty proud, and from what I've heard, it's not only Texas. There's other state militias down there ready to go at a moment's notice.
All I can say from stuff that I've talked with people and stuff, all I can say at this point is that we are extremely close to that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is if Arizona flips, that is going to be if nothing happens, that's going to be the start of the Civil War right there.
I believe there's going to be a war on the border when you cut out that $22 million a day.
Oh yeah.
When you draw that line in the sand, that's when the cartel is going to attack the local police forces.
Well, yeah, they're better armed because the CCP has been providing training and weaponry to those drug cartels for quite a few years, actually. There is a lot of Chinese military down there. They've been there for quite a while, actually. And they are very well armed, equally to our military. They'll be able to put up quite a fight.
So under the treaties or something, we're not able to send the National Guard to protect the border?
It's exactly the same as Portland is.
Yep.
Well, how can't these counties ask for assistance?
No, the federal government
can't order the National Guard to the border.
You got to understand who's in control of the federal government right now.
Right. So Abbott, well, if
no,
he's not around,
no. I know what you're talking about now. You're talking about that treaty that was signed in 1800s.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to use the military to protect our border.
Posse comitatus. Obama did away with that when he signed the National Defense Authorization Act. When he was in office, he did away and nullified posse comitatus.
Okay.
Well, we need to reenact that.
Something about possum.
A lot of people don't trust
posse comitatus. It's in the Constitution. It's where our own military cannot take up arms against the citizenry of the United States itself. Correct. That was done away with the National Defense Authorization Act. And I think it was the second or third year that Obama was in office. That was one of the biggest pieces of legislations that ignited this country to start rallying the Tea Party movement.
Well, that's not what we're talking about. There was something signed with a peace treaty between Mexico and America that they
Right.
would not defend or fight at the border. I can't remember exactly what it was. What is that, John? Where the military, unless there's fire shot to us, basically we cannot use the military. Is that right?
That's my understanding of it. It has to do with the treaty for we don't invade them. We can't invade them, and we can't be down there enforcing our laws across the river on their border. That's my basic understanding of it.
Tim said, as long as they got 1 foot in the water, you can't even arrest them.
No.
The cartel.
Pretty much. You could technically, if they are halfway across the river and they're legally on our ground, technically you could. Would you be supported by the Border Patrol or any other local agencies? No,
Nope.
You would be supported by them all. They turn you to be the aggressor, and they would make the other person a victim. And
As a matter of fact, I got video of me and John was in a meeting, and basically the guy that is over the Border Patrol now, which was set in place 1 hour before we got to that meeting, he basically told Mike Miller, "Why would you do that? Why would you risk yourself and do this?" Well, this is America. We risk ourselves to do these kind of things.
Yeah,
but
Absolutely.
he said basically in this meeting, they told the residents of these counties to basically stand down and just let them walk through. They're not staying here. Walk through your property, just damage your property. Here's another thing is they have got the citizens down there scared to death to shoot any of these people simply because they say that
Right.
you have to be under attack to defend yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that means they can break in your
life
house,
has to be
go through your refrigerator,
Yep.
do whatever they want to, and you're not allowed to shoot them until you feel like it's a threat. And that's exactly
And why
what
aren't
being
our
said.
county-
Huh?
And why aren't our county sheriffs? Why are not the county sheriffs? They're our last bastion of constitutional freedom.
Yeah,
They're our elected
they're banding
officials.
together. It's all coming together right now.
yeah. There's stuff that's happening with the sheriffs getting together, and the sheriffs going to basically stand the ground on their county borders that are on the border. That's in the play right now.
Yep. The
That's
biggest thing
good.
is financing it. So
Right.
Abbott
Abbott-
holds the money bag and he's not cutting it loose.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't there supposed to be some kind of big relief for the ranchers out there that's supposed to go into effect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get your cut?
I'm not a rancher.
Well, they.
I've had ranch dressing though.
Well,
There ain't nobody down there.
Speaking of which,
There ain't nobody got no money down there yet. Abbott, I think he got some new
did
wheels
you
on
guys
his
get any
steer.
money in your bank
He puts
account?
he,
Did you guys get any money in your bank accounts yet?
No.
no, nothing.
Nope. Okay.
Somebody
Just
said,
checking.
grab your
I think
AR.
we ought to rename that the No Sorrow.
The no stuff.
Yeah.
Dumb
No
sorry.
sorrow. No sorry. No money today. No
The
sorry.
no exist.
No money
Sarah.
today.
So sorry, not today.
No
Not for
sorry.
you. Not for you.
So straight up, everybody in the chat thinks Abbott's dirty.
That's
Yep.
pretty bad.
Well, there's been somebody put in the chat. Did you see President Trump's body language when he was with Abbott?
Yeah.
He kind of
Did you
looked like I don't like this guy. Something's not up. Something's not right with this guy.
So
Did
you
you
guys
see how
don't know
much
that-
taller Trump was than he was?
That's wrong.
That's
so
wrong right there. I don't know why the man's in a wheelchair, but you ain't supposed to talk about nobody like that.
So you guys
Yeah.
see that,
He
that
did have
Alan
some
West
mics on
was
him.
down there today?
Do what now?
What's that,
You
John?
guys see that Alan West was down there today?
Yeah, and I
No.
heard Sheriff Cole told me he was running. He came by there to see him and running for governor.
He did. There was a big meeting down there.
Really?
Alan West was at it at the theater down there. Somebody that you and I know was there. Met him, talked to him, had some conversations because he's running for governor, and he was down there in what's that?
How's he feel about him?
Feels good about him. He's a soldier. He's a patriot. He plus he's a Texan. I mean, he's from Texas, so he's all about it. But he felt real good about what he had to say, and they came across the ideas that were discussed down there about the sheriffs taking their own actions. He was totally supporting behind that 100%. So I think some things hopefully will go real well in the next couple of weeks towards something like that.
Is he a part of the Constitutional Sheriff Peace Officers Association with Richard Mack?
That I'm not sure of 100%. I know
that's a great program.
Yeah, I know he stepped down from the Republican Party thing there in Texas because he's running for governor. But the other side, I don't know.
Okay.
I've heard all good things about him.
Yeah, I have too.
Now there's a whole group of sheriffs down there that's fed up. But basically, you got to understand the town that we was in. They only got 3,600 people.
Yeah.
And
in the whole county.
In the whole county. All right. They got 6 police officers and 1 ambulance.
Wow.
So and they have no industry whatsoever. The only industry in that whole town is hunting.
Yep. Hunting ranches.
We hung out for a week at the convenience store because that was the most happening place in town. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's
was
really
that 7-Eleven?
Yep. We eat at the convenience store every day, all day. And that in a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah. So Tim, where that convenience store is at, yesterday morning, someone that we know who was down there was staying at that Fort Clark right there across the street from it.
Yep.
And he was on the phone with me. And he started telling me, "Do you hear that?" I'm like, "No, I don't hear it yet." And there's guys. He goes, "There's guys screaming and yelling over there." And just before he left, a bunch of DPS guys, border guys, went flying into the gates, going to the back of that property back there. And I was like, "They're probably chasing a group of illegals through there."
Yeah.
Turned out it was like 14 or 15 illegals that they ended up were chasing through there, and they ended up catching all of them there.
Really.
Yeah, right across the street from that convenience store that we stood had coffee every morning and
Yep.
Well, I have a question.
He said, I wanted to put this.
Go
ahead.
My question is, where is the great Ted Cruz, the great senator from Texas?
Yeah,
he's supposed to be the savior.
I trust him about as far as I can throw him, and I can't.
He's changed. He's changed as well. He's not the constitutional guy that we once first saw in his first term. That was an amazing man. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, Presley done the he was telling me about the stats of people who get elected. And I believe that 2 terms should be for everybody. Because what he was saying is you can elect a good person, and after 4 years or 8 years, they're just as corrupt as everybody, because basically they are used to the lifestyle. They're used to getting that money given to them, and they got to do what they got to do to stay in office. I think
it's all that lobbyist money.
I think 2 terms for everybody should be it, period.
I agree.
We don't need that many people to run this country. That's running it.
Heck no.
Too many people on the take. Too many people greasing each other's palm. That's what's wrong with this country now. It's not the way it was when the father of this country started this country. They didn't intend for it to be run this way. I can tell you that. I promise you that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they talking about he was Canadian. The only position that you've got to be born in the States is the president. That is the only position. Everybody else can be from any other country. There's plenty of people in Congress and stuff that was not born in America.
Yeah.
Now, I did find out that me being a felon, the only position I can run is president. So I'm just going to go for it and go all the way to president.
Hey, what?
I mean, I can't run for the sheriff because I'm a felon, and I can't run for governor because I'm a felon. But you can run for president if you're a felon. So I figured I might as well.
There's been a bunch of other I'm not a crook.
I'm not a crook.
That's right.
For goodness.
That's funny.
I see a lot of people in the chat screaming about Gassara. There's a solar flare that's going to hit the dead man.
No sorrow.
If anybody wants to come on. Did y'all hear it?
Yeah.
That's what I think about.
Hey, John, do you know anything about that at all? The Nassar
I don't.
stuff?
I don't, sir.
God
The
bless you,
QFS
son.
about the new
That's
bank
good. You don't want to go there.
money?
Have you heard anything about the Earth being
Well,
flat?
Russell,
Yeah. I think I saw something today about that.
Do you
Yeah,
know
he
that
sent me a
there's,
video.
is there clones, the people that look like people but they're actually aliens? Do you know anything about that?
So, funny you say it, because I saw a video today of a doctor talking about engineered cells that Microsoft has turned into a hard drive that they can actually clone a person and put their emotions and, you want to say that, I guess, their brain function in that and create
AI technology.
Yeah, I saw a video of that today, and I was just like, wow.
Imagine
Yeah.
all the things we don't know that's been hidden from us. But you know, if y'all need any of that information on that kind of stuff we were just talking about, head on over to Simon's page. He'll be able to beam you up to the spaceship and tell you all about it with his wife that he's had 2 children with.
Hey, just to get us into Saturday's show,
And Chuck Ward.
go look at that video that John sent me today. I just sent it to you on your Facebook. And it ain't got nothing about you getting shocked on there. So
Yeah, I'm
go ahead and play
you ain't right, Tim.
Yeah, and Tim, there was another one I saw just before that, talked about the moon landing and showed a picture of Armstrong's suit and the bottom of his boots, and then compared it to that, saw that stuff. So, all that stuff just kind of makes you go,
we were sitting in a restaurant in the middle of nowhere, and I told John, I said, I'll give you $10,000. I'll give you $10,000 if you can prove to me that we are spinning at 1,500 miles an hour. And, well, obviously, Mike said, oh, I can prove it. But then the only thing I've done is just got John to research it for himself. But, I still, nobody's took my money yet. So,
well, let me tell you something. There's a guy.
Huh?
There's a guy by the name of Zen Garcia. And he's been a flat earther researcher. He is the only guy. He went to court. He went to trial because the guy was suing him to try and disprove the flat earth theory.
Yeah.
Because Zen Garcia put out a $10,000 bonus. Hey, if you can disprove the flat earth, I'll pay you $10,000. So this guy took Zen Garcia to court, and all of the jury and the judge agreed with Zen Garcia with all the evidence. So it's on record that it's already been to court, that his peers have already ruled in favor that there's sufficient evidence that supports flat earth. And I'm going to tell you something here. Here's one reason why we haven't gone to the moon. You guys are familiar with the Van Allen radiation belt?
No, I hadn't got one of them.
Okay.
I haven't got one. Is that like the Superman belt?
The Van Allen radiation belt? No. But you have to go through this radiation belt to be able to go to the moon. All right? Because there's such extreme amounts of radiation that no human, we don't even have the technology. There's current NASA scientists that is on video saying the reason why we haven't been able to go to the moon yet is because we haven't figured out a way to go through the Van Allen belt. So how could we do it in 1969 and we've lost that technology since then to be able to do it?
Simon Parks has been there.
Simon Parks has been there.
Jackie,
the dark side of the moon, right?
Simon Parks has kids that lives on the moon. If you don't believe me, ask him. And he talks to them through a cat.
Oh, cat.
He puts the cat up to his ear just like a telephone. And he talks into his ass and listens to his mouth.
Now you leave Simon alone.
I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it. The camera was off, but I could see through the camera. It was a
he did like one on Saving the Day. He didn't know he was on the camera.
Yeah. It was a cat. It had a tail, and it went around. You know how them microphones come around, like old dude's got one. It comes around here. You can hear you breathing in it. Well, he was talking into the tail, talking to his kids, and saying he was going to send child support checks to the moon.
To the moon. To
I'm
the
telling
moon,
you.
Alice.
Huh?
We ain't never been to the moon in no rocket if we ever been to the moon. Maybe in an anti-gravity aircraft.
Did y'all
Got
see
a
that?
million
Well, that'll be
dollars
one of
worth
our
of
future
technology.
shows.
But let's not go down that road.
Okay,
We
did you
are
get that
bringing-
video?
Listen,
get
we
that?
are, listen, guys. Saturday night, we're bringing the flat guy on the flat Earth
Not
guy
the fat
on.
guy. The fat guy's on tonight.
Listen, David Wise is coming on Saturday night at 10 o'clock. Sorry, guys, but we have to do him in Zoom. We can't go live on Facebook, but we'll upload it to the website. But he's going to come on and tell you why
They
the
told
Earth
Fishy
is
about that.
flat.
He's so
And it
smart
has
they
a
named him.
dome protecting the flat of the Earth.
He's so smart they named him Wise.
Well, there you go.
That's
It's
right.
in the
And there's that.
scriptures. It's in the
But
scriptures.
if
in
you guys
Genesis.
are going to have to watch this, because from now on, downhill will mean a whole new meaning.
Hey,
I
show
was
that
in
video.
D.C. and they were going to roll my fat ass down the hill if I couldn't make it back to the car.
Hey,
Roll.
Doug, show that video.
What one?
I didn't send it to your messenger, man. I told you that an hour ago.
Look, I already tried to play it. Hold on. I'm getting ready to share it now.
This is pretty good.
Y'all got into
I'm
another
gonna
whole
tell you what, it was so good. It got John
Sorry,
Dykes
John.
thinking twice.
These two guys,
Yeah.
they just commandeer and they take over. I'm telling you what.
Well, I tell you, when they start
You just got
talking
to go
about
along with the ride.
All right, y'all see this?
Yeah,
This
they start talking
encyclopedia
about-
right here.
Make it bigger.
I can't.
Yeah, you can.
That's what. If I could, my wife would still be here.
Oh.
Is that bigger?
Okay, well, just turn the volume up. At least we can hear it. There you go. You're getting bigger now, boy. Got that Viagra. Turn the volume on. Turn the volume on.
I'm gonna run it back. Hold on. I don't even know how to do that.
Now, you won't find this in the new encyclopedias because the government's banned them. But what I want you to notice right here is notice how it says the flights proved inland areas to be featureless in character with a dome 13,000 feet high
Yep.
at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east. Take a really, really close look at that. Now I'm going to zoom it in for you. When they returned to New Zealand, these flights proved the inland areas to be featureless in character with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east. Now, if this doesn't make sense to you, let me show you with an image of what a flat earth map would look like. Now, this is what a latitude 80 degrees south would look like on a flat earth map. As you can see, the dome comes down closer to you over the wall, which would be about 13,000 feet. Now, if you go back out into the center of the earth, or up the North Pole, and try to go up to the firmament with a little bit of calculation, it's going to show that it's about 385,500 feet away. It's really, really simple, folks. Now, if you're not familiar with any of this at all, and you're just now new to all this, you can say, well, this guy is crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But what you got to ask yourself is, why do all the maps before 1958 show a flat earth with the ice wall around it and a firmament, a dome?
Yep.
And why does the encyclopedia tell you that there's a dome there and it gives you the exact height at the certain latitude and longitude? Well, the reason is because in 1958, that's when all governments and all nations of the world signed the UN treaty to ban all civilians from going to the Antarctica. And NASA came in and erased everything, just like they're erasing everything today. So again, ask yourself, if all this existed before 1958, why doesn't it exist now? You guys remember how I showed you the maps that were here on Earth before 1958, before the governments took them out? And I'm going to show you the Encyclopedia Britannicas in the public libraries before 1958. Here's volume 2 out of the alphabet A. We're going to flip to the Antarctica. and this is from 1958, as you can see. Now, we're going to flip to the Antarctica and see what the Encyclopedia Britannica from 1958, before the Antarctic Treaty, says is there. Now, you won't find this in the new encyclopedias because the government's banned them. But what I want you to notice right here is, notice how it says the flights proved
All right, we already
inland
heard.
areas to be featureless in character. They don't. 13,000.
Booyah.
Interesting.
All right, then. Now that the Earth is
All
flat,
right, I just sent you a picture,
will you quit sending me stuff? Frog?
and it's the United Nations flag.
Is it flat?
Yep. It's a
It's a
flat
flag.
Earth map. That's right.
You will see everything there except Antarctica.
Well, it's the edge. You see it. It's on their flag.
Because there
It's
is
the
no
edge.
Antarctica, really.
Right.
Hold on, I gotta share the screen because you sent me more stuff.
I'm sorry.
Hold it, hold it. Is that it?
Yep.
Yep.
Where
Where's
we at?
Antarctica?
Can you see me on there?
Yeah, I can. That right there, they throw it in our faces, fellas.
Yes.
If the Earth's flat, ain't we gonna fly out of the atmosphere in the plane?
Nope.
We ain't really at 38,000 feet.
Nope.
Hey, I watched a video last week of airline pilots from Australia and New Zealand. There was 6 of them, and this citizen journalist was on these flights. And when the flights were done, he went into the cockpit to these airline pilots and asked them point blank, is the Earth flat? And they said yes, because the programs that they have to use to fly and circumnavigate in the southern hemisphere, it's a straight line, and they all admitted that the
Yep.
Earth is flat. Professional airline pilots admitted this. There is so much evidence out there, so much irrefutable evidence.
I want my money back for my globe then.
There's
No,
no
hey, it's just one person at a time. John thought I was crazy when I told him that. You don't think I'm crazy no more, do you?
I never thought you were crazy, brother.
Well, you didn't believe me.
You put me down a rabbit hole.
Somebody said baloney. Somebody
That's all
said
right.
baloney.
We'll have
Hey,
proof on
I
Saturday
tell you
night.
what, Baloney, I got 10 grand to prove me wrong. And
There
if
you
you don't
go.
believe me,
He got
ask Doug.
10 grand. 10
Doug.
grand. And that's
10
US.
grand. Prove
And
me
that's
wrong.
US money. So let me see. In Canadian money, that's wait a minute. In US money, that might only be about $39 now.
Monopoly money. You got 10 grand of Monopoly money.
Yep. Basically what it is, but it still spins today. So y'all better prove it.
Yeah,
quick.
yeah. There you go.
Well, think about it. Here's simple physics. If the Earth was spinning at 1,600 miles per hour,
We
which
don't be
is,
busy as hell.
but listen, watch. If the Earth was spinning at 1,600 miles per hour, and you're outside your home and you have a flagpole, right? That flag would be waving so fast, but on any given day where there's no wind, it stands still. On any given day.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna prove y'all guys. I'm gonna prove y'all guys beyond a shadow of a doubt right now. And this is old dumbass redneck logic. Okay. Have you
All
ever
right,
seen?
redneck
All
five.
right, hold on.
All right, have you ever seen satellites with rockets?
Huh?
Satellites. You know, like this TV satellite.
Yeah.
You know, you
Right.
always see that. All right. Have you ever? All right, think about this now. If you go out in your neighborhood right now, if anybody's got Dish Network, every one of them is pointing the exact same way.
In the
Period.
same place.
And
over
if that is all, if that satellite is off that far, if that satellite, there's an earthquake out there in
Yeah, it was.
Utah. If the satellite's off that far, it will not pick it up. Am I right, ML?
Yeah.
Yep, you're
Yeah,
exactly
that
right.
Now,
That
if
right.
we are spinning at 1,500 miles an hour, 15 to 16, is according to how far you are up on the map.
Yep.
If you are spinning that fast, how fast is that satellite spinning outside the Earth? For that satellite, for that dish to point at it, it's got to spin with the Earth.
They're more than a satellite.
That's right.
They got multiple satellite dishes up there.
So it would lose signal between each one.
That's exactly right. Because they wouldn't be in the same position. They wouldn't be in the same position.
They have got, and they cannot be off that much. They cannot be off that much.
He got the answer.
Call Simon. Tell him. Tell Simon to pick that cat up and call his wife.
Chop up his ass and let's get an answer.
Call that cat, get that cat. Say, hey. It's simple. It's simple. I figured it out when I was in elementary school.
You ain't know nothing about it last week. Won't you
tell you what,
lying, man?
I tell you what. Walk out there tomorrow. You exactly right.
NASA has took all the money and built domes with it instead of going to space. You can bet your bottom dollar on that.
Hey,
and
do y'all know what NASA?
There's no military bases underground and FEMA camps underground. You're in sad shape.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. Do y'all know what NASA means? And y'all can look it up. Google it right now if you don't believe me. What NASA means in Hebrew.
What is it?
To deceive.
That's exactly right.
All right, now here's the next thing. Do y'all know the NASA? Do y'all know the NASA emblem? It's the word NASA. And it's got it's a snake's tongue.
Serpent tongue. That's right. Werner Braun, the father of NASA, which was Werner von Braun, through Operation Paperclip. He was the Nazi scientist who spearheaded NASA, who brought in thousands of scientists in Huntsville, Alabama, right? Before he died, he warned and said the greatest deception, it's even on his headstone. He said people need to look up a scripture passage where it talks about the firmament.
All right.
The firmament.
Listen, hold on a minute.
The greatest deception. Go ahead.
You're exactly right. All right. Robert, whatever it is, WIDBY. He's saying that the satellite photos of the Earth are round.
CGI.
Now, listen to me. If I took a basketball and I spun it, could you read the word Spalding on it?
No.
So anybody who says that there's cameras that can do that, they're done. Yep. That means that satellite would have to be spinning at 3,000 miles an hour. It's a lie.
That's right.
John, I know
you couldn't get a still
right now.
shot.
John's sitting there Googling stuff. John's trying to get that 10 grand right now.
Oh, no. I'm looking at the Hebrew word for NASA.
Any of y'all want to buy a globe? I got a globe for sale.
And you're dead on, man.
Yep.
Deceived. Yep. You know me, man. I like
the guy
facts. Yep. And you're showing me facts, so I like it.
Yep. We on the same path. I'm just a little ahead of you on some of that
That's
stuff.
why there's curved windows, somebody said. I didn't know my windows were curved.
Yep.
I've got years
of research. John looks embarrassed.
I've got years of research. Yeah.
And my biggest deal is it's in the Bible. Matter of fact, the
that's right.
What's the book?
The firmament.
Enoch, one of the books that they forgot about in the
that's right
in the Queen James version. That went over y'all's head. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
ML.
Yes.
Queen James version.
Yep.
Anyway, we're gonna have proof Saturday. This right here's just hearsay. There's gonna be a man. He's very wise, and he's gonna be on here Saturday. He's gonna straighten all y'all out.
But I got a test question for all our viewers. We got 2,300 on. Now, what's the name of that movie, Tim? About the that General Flynn just did and we watched in Greenville. What was the name of it?
I got it on you. I sent it to you.
Big Rig. What is the name of it?
Hold on a minute. Look at your messenger. It's right there on it. I sent it to you last night.
Well, anyways.
Deep rig.
Now listen up, guys.
Deep rig.
We've come up with another way.
Rig.
Listen.
That's a good idea. That boy come up with it today.
And I did this while I was taking selfies sitting on the crapper. I'm letting you know I get good ideas right then.
Yep.
So I was sitting there thinking,
Wow, wow, wow.
and I had a moment of greatness, and I thought,
Hey, that's proof. That's proof that Doug sits on a crapper looking at his phone. Look at him.
oh, look here.
I've been meaning to mail it to him. He forgot to send me an address. This is Doug thinking of this idea right now. Go ahead and tell him, Doug, what the idea
All
is.
right, now listen, guys. We're going to try to show this movie locally and wake up people locally. I told Bonafide today, how about we have a Zoom call, and the patriots that want to participate in watching this movie to wake people up can come watch the Zoom, and everybody makes a small donation because the movie is not free. We're just trying to cover the cost of the movie to get everybody to watch it. If that's an idea you'd like to see this movie and you think that's a good idea, I think you can have up to 100 people on a Zoom call for free. So we could do a 1, 2, 3 calls a week, and we can do questions and answers before and after the movie. If that's a good idea for y'all, put a 1 in the chat. And
look here, we only gonna charge $4.99. That's $499 per person on the Zoom call.
And be nothing like that, folks.
Okay. All right, I was just trying to make
I'd like to know more about what happened. This movie is phenomenal.
All right, for anybody in here on the chat, also
permission to show it. We just have the Zoom, and we can stream the video, and you can watch it personally, or you can get a few more people with you and watch it on your big screen TV. This is what we'd like to do to bring patriots together and help wake up other people about what has happened and the fraud that's gone on in the E.
That's right. Now listen, how many people in the chat has not seen the movie? Has not seen the movie? Put it no.
Two for not seeing the movie.
I think they can spell no, dumbass. Damn. No, I have not. Put 2 for number 2. Number 2.
I was going number 2 when I thought of the idea. 2. See? 2.
Oh my gosh. There's a lot of people on here have not seen it. All right, so
now listen, guys.
No 2.
Let's listen. All joking aside, what we want to do is come together and have a night next week where we do a Zoom call, and you can simply donate. We'll set up a PayPal or some kind of thing. You can donate so we can pay for the movie, and we can do question and answers before we start. We could get Presley to come on, introduce the video. I'm sure he would, wouldn't he, Tim?
Yeah.
He would come in. He's the head of the Tea Party in South Carolina.
Presley's sick.
Well, he don't.
Yep.
He was one of them?
Yep. There's over 2 dozen of them now.
Woo.
Keep that under your
We'll
hat.
get in that later. That's another whole story.
Yep.
And but we can't get into that right now. But this is what we want to do. We want to start doing viewings, and I don't mean like the funeral home. We need to do viewings so people can wake up to the fact. See, Deep Rig. That's what we want to show this movie.
They will not show that in any theaters because it is too much truth for you to handle.
And I'm telling you that me and Tim watched the movie. It is absolutely spot on. It's very good. And like I said, we could get somebody, or we'll go over the introduction to the movie. Then after the movie, if there's any questions, we'll be around to answer questions, because this is how we're going to have to get our country back, waking up people that don't have no idea about what had went on in our country. So what we're going to do
wants to know why we're going to charge people.
Because it's not free to us.
Kobe, are you on the government check? I want you to send me a picture of your payroll check. Want something for free.
Hey,
He probably gets about 300 a
straight
week.
up, guys, the movie costs money to watch, and it isn't like renting a DVD or something. They intended for it to be this way so groups of people would watch the movie. That's why it's the way it is. Hey, look who came in. I'm going to bring him on. You ready?
Yeah. Who that?
What's up, Mike?
What's happening?
What the hell is up with you?
Welcome to the show, man. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see
Looks like
you.
you laying there asleep.
He's kicking back.
I'm definitely kicked back.
You
Yeah,
been
we're
watching the
just
show?
talking about doing some Zoom calls and showing the movie Big Rig.
Sweet.
And that way we can wake people up to the fact of what happened with the election. And I think it's a good thing. And then try to show it locally at, restaurants. He ain't going to get it at no American Legion or VFW.
No.
That ain't going to happen there. But I think it's a good idea to try to do it on Zooms. And it was intended for large audiences. So if we can get for 50, I think you can get, 100 people, Mike, on a Zoom for free?
75 to 100, yeah.
But it's only an hour long, so we would have to join the pro version so we could go. I think the movie's 2.5 hours long, or 2 hours long.
It was at least 2 hours long.
Yeah, you have to have a pro version.
Yep. See,
See,
that's
I told
why it
y'all,
ain't
y'all
free.
had all these ideas about Mike. There's my buddy Mike. We talked today.
Yep. Hey, that's why it ain't free. We had to pay for it. Everybody wants something for free. Y'all used to Facebook.
Yeah, this ain't Portland.
That's exactly right.
We were talking about today, all the homeless people that were in Portland and how the how the
homeless.
city is just supporting the
All the drug addicts. They drug
all the
addicts.
drug addicts, and they're not trying to cure anything. They're just trying to help the problem and make it bigger than it should be.
Absolutely. I said a long time ago, Chris Rock named that tune when he told that joke on stage. The goal ain't to cure people. The goal is to get more drugs and sickness in them.
Yep.
I would agree.
They want to know if John's got his own show. We got his Robin Howard wants to know if John's got his own show.
I've got one called The Brief.
The who?
The Brief.
The Brief.
Yep. It's on all Spotify, Pandora. It's all those Apple.
Look here, Mike. I mean, all y'all. Somebody said they willing to pay $20 to watch a movie.
Hey,
there you go.
All right, let's get a bid war going on. Who's going to pay the most?
But I just think it's and I thought of that. Show Mike the Frog.
Yeah, that was him on the Potter.
That was me thinking of this morning.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was sitting there looking at the phone.
Ideas.
He was talking to me on the phone at the time. Sending me
my
pictures.
Don't you love it when they come with that bathroom echo?
Yeah. That's exactly what Bonafide got. He's in the bathroom. He got a shower curtain behind him.
Hey, somebody said they're going to give me $500 if I let them talk flat Earth.
Flat Earth.
Hey,
we got a
send
guy
me your
coming on
phone number.
Saturday.
We'll let you talk right now.
Mike, what do you know about the flat Earth?
I know only that I haven't studied it.
I want my money back on my globe.
Yep.
Well, I will tell you this. This is what I do know, okay?
Okay.
There's a older black woman. I can't think what her name is, but she spilled the beans one year about 10 years ago on what the map has been done to what has happened to the map. Okay.
Yeah.
Now she didn't say anything about flat Earth and round Earth, but she spilled the beans of how they manipulated the map. And it's a very powerful piece still on YouTube today.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to explain to you how I know this is a lie. Every single program that you see, like the news and all that stuff, they got the Earth behind it spinning.
Right.
Including Joel Osteen has got that big Earth behind it spinning.
Ooh.
That's some very
It's like
with the super preacher now.
Yeah.
Don't you mess with him.
Hey, that's some
I'm just
powerful
telling you.
stuff there, Bonafide. I mean, you really think about it. I mean, a lot of the things we see today, we miss the details. And
Yep.
that's a very good point. Those are very good points, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Yep. I've been studying this a long, long time, boy.
Well, you look
y'all
like a
may
guy
not
that
believe
might have
this.
seen-
And when I was in the 4th grade, I had the highest IQ in the school, and I failed that year.
Uh-oh.
That's the God's honest truth.
Well, you was in the hillbilly school.
Well, I know that. I quit school in 9th grade because I was making more money than the teachers. I said, what are y'all going to teach me?
You should see him with a Siri. He talks to it, and he can't get it to do nothing because it don't know
Yeah.
hillbilly.
Siri, is the earth flat?
No.
See, that's proof right there.
You know it's a lie.
If you know that, Siri, who is Jesus?
Here's some information.
See there? They ain't gonna tell you nothing. Is the earth flat? No. That's all they had to say. No proof.
Ask Siri who the president is.
Siri, who is the president of the United States?
Joe Biden is the president of the United
States. If that right there ain't proof,
that ain't a lie.
Bitch, that is a lying bitch right there.
That's lying right there.
Yep.
I promise you.
That's misinformation or disinformation.
Yep.
So, guys, that's what we'll do. Let's shoot. Today is what? Thursday? Let's shoot for Monday or Tuesday of next week, and we're going to set up a Zoom call, and I'll order a bigger package where we can have as many people on as we want. But I don't think we want to get more than 100 or 75, because that way if people want to ask questions, they don't have to wait an hour to get an answer that we don't really know nothing about. But anyway, we can bring people on that might know.
200 will crash the servers, guys.
Okay, so we'll try to keep. I think 50 is probably a good number, 50 to 75.
Hey, where's Dave Martelli? I need to get his phone number. He's going to.
He put it on there a while ago. Everybody called Dave. He put his number in the chat. Everybody called him.
Did he put his number up there? I'm gonna call him.
He did put it up there a while ago.
Just wait a minute. I'm gonna call Dave. He's gonna tell me something. He's gonna give me that $500.
I can get that guy to fix the call-in show. I don't know what there it is right there. Boom, right there.
Where that?
Oh, it was a fake number?
Y'all done called it.
Call that number.
He's in. That's a fake number.
That's BR5.
That's a Destin, Florida phone number.
No, that's the suicide prevention hotline.
I'm gonna call it just to see who answers the phone. Maybe Joe Biden.
He ain't got that many digits
Put
on
the
his
phone number back up there, Doug.
Huh?
Put the number back up there.
I don't know where it went. I didn't.
Whoever's
Somebody put that
end
number back up, please. I'd have lost it in the chat.
Whoever's on the other
There
end,
it
I
is.
feel for them.
He said that wasn't the number. It was 850, the one he put up, wasn't it?
Yeah, 850 something or another.
What was the guy's name?
Here
There it is. Right there. Call that number. If some guy in India picks up, hello, this is Dave. Can I help you? You know that Dave's looking at a camel out the window.
We're calling right now. His name is Dave.
What's up, fellas?
Who is this?
Dave Martelli, and I love your show.
Can you
sound
tell
like
me,
ML's brother?
Can you send me your ID, please, sir?
I don't know how to do all that, man. I own a huge company, and I have a bunch of people that
Put him back on the
box and rocks with digital stuff.
All right, now let me ask you a question. How
Yes, sir.
fast is the Earth spinning?
I don't know what they say the Earth is spinning, but it's not spinning, and I can prove biblically it's not. And I'll tell you how. You want me to tell you real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Isaiah 40:22, it said God sits upon the circle of the earth. Let me tell you this. First of all, if you look up the word circle in the Hebrew, the word is spelled C-H-U-G. It means to be carved or it means to be etched out, which is impossible to do on a spinning ball. Now, I got one better for you. Isaiah knew the difference between circle and ball, because if you look later on in the book of Isaiah, he used the word circle, and if you look up the definition in the Hebrew, it's spelled dir, D-U-R-E, and it means circular in circumference. So
Yep.
Isaiah knew the difference between circle and ball.
Yep.
And
Circle
Wow.
is the border.
Correct.
Yep.
I could spend an hour on this topic giving you proof, but I'm going to tell you this. Rob Skiba, he's one of the best in the world, and he's done many experiments that he's done on YouTube.
Yep.
So if nobody's ever seen that man, you need to look him up.
I've done them myself. Hey, have you ever been across from Salt Lake City to Reno?
No, not personally.
Have you done that, Doug? Have you done that, Mike?
Not personally.
Has any of y'all done that and drove from Salt Lake City to Reno?
No.
It's 100 miles, over 100 miles straight flat on salt flats.
Okay.
And basically you're running, it looks like you're sitting on a bridge because there's water in between the lanes, and they run wiggle wagons 53 foot apiece. That's how long the road is.
Right.
And you can see the lights of the casinos 100 miles away at nighttime.
Wow.
Well, how does that? Didn't if the Earth was round, wouldn't the circumference start to
Exactly.
turn?
You're exactly right.
I feel like I've been cheated.
Say what
If you
now?
don't mind, I got one better for you, Bonafide.
All right, go ahead.
So, okay, so the math in the textbook that we're taught is 7 inches squared per mile. Okay,
That's
there's
right.
there is a video camera proof where Rob Skiba got in a boat. He's a Nikon 9000 PX, I believe it's called, across from Lake Michigan. Okay,
Yep.
he took the camera. Did you see that one?
Yep,
Where he took
I
the
seen it.
camera. Theoretically, you should not. Theoretically, those buildings across Lake Michigan should be at least halfway under the horizon where you cannot see it. You could see the entire building from point A to point B, 60 miles across from Lake Michigan. And you know what Channel 9's news said when someone called in and confronted them about that? You want what they said? It was a superior mirage. Sorry about my dog.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and so on live TV, he said it was. But here's the problem with that, man. A superior mirage would be upside down,
That's exactly right.
and it wasn't. But I don't want to take up your whole show, guys. But I would love to come on as a guest one time, man, and support
Sure. You're,
your
that's
show and
what
bring
we
all
got.
my notes.
hey,
Have you got a smartphone 12?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, can you tell Doug where to buy one at?
Lord, I'm never going to hit into that.
Hey,
Got some
where
bad
about you
internet, and
at
I'll
in
never hear
Florida?
the end of it.
Pensacola, Florida.
I told y'all. Ding, 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 ding. I got that on the Jeopardy. I'm never wrong.
Hey, Dave, contact us at the Frog News Network at gmail.com, and we'll set up a day for you to come on, okay?
That would be perfect, man. Guys, thank you. And let me tell you something. I enjoy your show.
Hey, what
Absolutely
kind of
love it.
business you own, Dave?
We own we actually have a reality show on PureFlix. It's called Being Martelli. We're a second generation from Italy, and I'm a born again Christian myself. My dad was a pastor at one point in time. He's older now, but my dad is a mechanical genius. He has over 50 patents in the sewing and quilting industry, and we actually have a multi-million-dollar business, and we travel all across the United States, and we send sales reps to like trade shows, and we sell new inventions. So we got, but I don't do the digital stuff. We have a
I
whole
travel
team
like that,
does
but I'm broke.
I didn't say I had the money. I
And we
said-
looking for an invention.
I'm still a worker, bee. Even
You got anything to make fat people look skinny?
It's called Photoshop.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. But
Thanks a lot
I'm
for
looking
coming on, man. We
forward to
really
that.
appreciate it.
Can you go ahead and can you text me that Bonafide or Doug if you don't mind?
Yeah,
What's
I'll
that?
text you.
And I'll reach out to you guys. And I just wanted to say,
What do you want me to text him?
Man, you give a lot
The
of
email
people
address.
Oh, somebody put the email address in the chat. That way I could just send it over to him.
Hey, we're gonna make John Dice a believer before it's over with.
Oh! If I have anything to do with it, I'm gonna be part of it.
All right, then.
Y'all have a good one now.
All
Thanks,
right, buddy.
guys.
God bless
All
you.
right, we'll get you that right over.
That's our first call in. Look, Doug, that's our first call in caller. You see it?
And you did it.
I done it with my speaker, my blue speaker,
What was all the telephone, I think.
and I held it right here. That's all we needed. It took Doug 6 months to hook up the thing so we could do call-ins, and all you gotta do is just hold it right here. That's all we gotta do. I'm going. At least
I don't want them to have my phone number.
At least, I'm not doing like Brad, where he turns his camera around and shows his video screen.
Satellites run 17,000 miles an hour, and you know that how.
Some of the simplest things have served us well.
Yeah,
You got that right.
satellites.
And
So they're
somebody else
telling
is
me-
giving us breaking intel.
Who was that?
32,000 websites are down. I bet your Pornhub's up.
Let me check.
Literally.
32,000 websites are down. I know one of them today.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, let me check on my website right quick. Make sure ain't nobody got me.
Photoshop Doug in a bikini. Y'all need to stop with that stuff right now.
Bonafidestorage.com is still operating. So if you need a shed, carport, or RV cover,
a flat one.
a flat one, you ain't got to worry about the spin. You ain't got to worry about the spinning part of it.
Somebody wanted to know, are we live? No, this is memory.
Do you think we'd play this and record it again? Hey, who's going to get in the bikini?
Well, look, I think we broke everything.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all what we need to do. Y'all, if y'all want to see the video of Doug in the car,
no.
If y'all, I want to see a 1. If I can get 10 people that can put a 1 on the screen, Doug's gonna have to show it, or he can't get on the show no more. Can y'all do that?
They want what video you talking about?
You know which video? Go ahead. It's the Frog News Network.
Oh Lord, he's gonna embarrass me, Mike. Watch and see this now.
It ain't. Oh, we got a plenty of 1s. Y'all got. This is what happened when you fall asleep around me. This right here is what happens to you. I didn't send it that way. I sent it. That's it right there.
Hold on. Let me
turn the volume up. Here we go.
You are listening to the Frog News Network.
The hell's wrong with you? I hope I never have to watch that again.
Now I'm gonna have it on. Hey, y'all go to Bonafide Truth and subscribe, and we'll play it at the beginning of every video. Bonafide Truth on YouTube, and we'll play. That'll be the intro to every video I got.
He's a real jokester. Don't fall asleep around him now. I'm gonna let you know. He scared me to death. I was like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And he laughed the rest of the way home.
If I was a real asshole, I'd have stuck it on you.
Then you would have to clean the seat out.
That's right.
Oh, okay, guys. Look, I think if we're still on the air tomorrow, it'll be lucky. Okay.
Have we said anything to get us kicked off of YouTube tonight? Lord,
probably just about everything
Lord,
we said.
forgive us for saying anything to get us kicked off of YouTube tonight, and tell them folks about Jesus.
So listen, guys, if we help one person understand a little bit more about the flat earth, people out in Seattle, or if we made any sense, we feel like we've done our job. We know if we bring 2 people together, it's like 11. So when we bring hundreds and hundreds of people together in the chat, that's what God would want.
That's exactly right.
So with that, Bonafide, hit us with a prayer so we can get out.
Lord, I want to thank Doug for having a good heart, and so he don't fall over with a heart attack. But Lord, seriously, we do have a problem in this country. We have a problem in Portland, and Lord, I want to wake people up and let them know that is coming to a city near them or where they are. If something is not done, and if we don't get these patriots together and get them participating in their local governments, Portland is a perfect example of what's going to take place here in America, Lord. And I ask you to look over all of our Frogonites, and we'll see you tomorrow night. In Jesus' name, amen.
Mike, thanks for jumping on with us, man.
Hey, guys, let me say this one thing real quick, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I've been going on a lot of shows and talking about unity, okay? Even though we have our differences, we're all out here trying to do our piece and sharing the truth and what's really going on in the world,
right?
And here in the United States.
Yep.
So if we don't come together soon, no matter our differences, it's going to overcome us.
Yep.
Okay?
I would agree.
Let's come together and let's share the truth. Each of us got a piece in it. Let's stick to that piece and carry our passion and do it together.
I would agree 110%.
That's right.
Yep.
We really all ought to come together at the border and go down there and kick some AZZ.
Well, you know one thing, I'll be in the trailer with the air conditioner.
That's right.
I'll probably be back down there.
Well,
again.
what you can do, Doug, what you can do is interview the ones that we catch.
That's it.
And say, where are you from? Well, that's where you're going back to.
We'll catch y'all tomorrow night. Thanks, guys, for coming on. We love you.
Hey, thank you so much for